Hi, friends. Welcome back to the channel. I'm really excited for today's episode. This episode is for the girlies who are really hard on themselves, who think it's really benefiting them. It's why they're so successful. Because same, I used to do that, and it's not. And so we're going to talk about that. And let me just tell you straight, if you like today's episode, you're going to love the offers that I have coming. So I have two offers coming. So I first have the Audacity Challenge, which is a cute, short, spunky 21-day video bundle. And it's a challenge to help you get out of your own head, stop doubting yourself, self-sabotaging, get out of your own way, and into really audacious action and the next audacious identity that you've really been wanting to have. And we're doing it live on September 1st. And so you can join between now and September 1st. You can even hop in September. Totally cool. And that offer is going to give you the opportunity to win calls with me, to win 50% off my next offer, which is called Audacious. And Audacious is going to come in September. It's going to be, I'm really, really, really excited. It's going to be a course that also has kind of like a coaching live element to it. And it's all about becoming the full-time, audacious, confident version of yourself that you sometimes are just tapped into a little bit, or sometimes you feel like it's really hard to access. It's all about putting yourself out there, going big, owning who you are, and having that kind of audacity and confidence open up opportunities for you. And so that is Audacious. It's coming September 1st. And again, if you like this episode, you're going to love both of those offers. And so I'm going to put the link in the show notes for you to join the 21-day Audacity Challenge. It is $77. It is worth way freaking more than that. My clients just off this $77 what have they done? They literally landed their highest paying jobs. They've had their biggest launches to date. They pitched themselves to their dream opportunities. They let themselves get massages, get Botox, go on dates with themselves, start dating. They've started from this challenge saving for a lifelong dream trip to Australia, all of the things, just from the $77. And so if you haven't yet, go join, link in the show notes. And then if you like the Audacity Challenge, I promise you're going to love Audacious. And we'll talk more about that towards, oh my God, it's almost September actually. So we'll talk more about that, I guess, next week. So let's dive into today's episode. Something I realized the other day is that there are two kinds of quote unquote being hard on yourself. And I realized when I was thinking about this the other day, the kind of hard that I am on myself has changed completely since building my confidence. It's done a total 180. And because it's done a 180, it's so much more effective the way I am tough on myself now. And I want to say, the kind of hard that I used to be on myself was more of criticizing myself, pushing myself, trying to be hard on myself because I thought that was the only way to push myself forward. And I had this deeply unhelpful and false story that the reason I was so successful was because I was hard on myself, because I pushed myself. And I've started to sit with, what if that's actually the way I push myself, and I'll explain it more, was actually a deterrent to my success, not something that contributed. And it was a very mind-blowing moment for me. And so let's just say, I'm hard on myself now too. But again, different kinds of hard. And so I want to go through it. The kind of hard that I see that a lot of people, especially high achievers, are on themselves is more of the shameful variety. And we think it works really, really well. And it just doesn't. And so let's dive in. So when I used to be hard on myself before I built my confidence, I used to be mean to myself. I would put myself down for not doing what I said I was going to do. I used to have these super high expectations that I thought made me get really far. But secretly, I was just telling myself that I wasn't good enough if I didn't live up to them. And I had all of this negative self-talk to quote unquote motivate myself. And just think about it now. We get so in our own heads without ever having anyone check us. That I'm just laughing because I'm like, how did I get it this far? How did I get this far with this? And so the language that when I was thinking about the old kind of hard, let's just call it, that I was on myself, the language would be like, don't be lazy, you're being lazy, or you're better than this, Mackenzie. Like, come on. or other people can do this. Why can't you do it? Or come on, this is easy. Like, why am I struggling so much with this? Why am I struggling so much? And it was just the kind of hard that would beat me down. And it's the kind of hard that would make me feel like I wasn't good enough. And the really tough thing is once you get into this, like, it's a cycle. Once you get into the cycle of this kind of hard where you're pushing yourself, but really you're just criticizing yourself because you think it makes you better, what this kind of hard actually does is make you feel like you're not good enough. And then now that you're feeling like you're not good enough, you push yourself even harder. And then you make yourself feel like you're more and more of not good enough. And it's just this cycle because the less you feel, the more you will push yourself. And it just doesn't really work. I hate to break it to you. It doesn't work. And you're going to be like, Mackenzie, it does work. I'm really successful. Same. I have always been super successful because I thought I was pushing myself really hard. And it's just because I did work hard. I was a hard worker. I knew my capability. But this kind of hard doesn't help you. It just makes you feel like you're not enough. Let me give you an example of why it actually, and actually just a breakdown of why it's not as effective as you've probably convinced yourself for decades that it is. And so let's say you have a goal, whether it's an income goal, a weight goal, a relationship goal, like whatever goal you want to do, just choose one. Just choose one for the sake of this. So let's say for my example, let's say you want money. And if you have these ideas, I was just talking to a client about this the other day. She had this belief of money is powerful and money is for people who work really hard and have earned it, and money is for successful people. And meanwhile, if that's the belief, which fine, fair. But meanwhile, you're quote unquote pushing yourself hard that you're doing, the hard on yourself variety you have is actually a lot of just negative self-talk and criticizing yourself and being, judgmental and mean to yourself. If that negative self-talk is actually saying you're pathetic and you don't work hard enough and you're not successful until you do XYZ, or other people can do this, why can't you? What you're actually doing is telling yourself that you're not aligned or capable or a match for the money. Because if money is powerful, but you're telling yourself you're pathetic, and if money is for really hard workers who have earned it and you're telling yourself you're lazy and other people can do this, doesn't add up. If money is for successful people and you're telling yourself you're not successful yet, you're just telling yourself, I don't know how to explain this to you, but it's basically like money is all of these things. I am not all of these things. And so the more you push yourself through shame and self-criticism, what you're actually doing is just telling yourself more and more and more, you're not enough for this. And you will still achieve because you're a hard worker, you're more than capable, and you're an entrepreneur, or you're usually, if you're my followers, a really successful corporate woman who knows she's made for more. So anyway, you're going to achieve either way. But you're telling yourself it's because of this process. But really, again, the harder you quote unquote push yourself, the more you're telling yourself you're not enough, which is more telling you you're pathetic, lazy, you're not working hard enough, other people can do this. You're just putting yourself down. And so you're actually causing a bigger disconnect between you and the goals you want. I just want you to sit with this, and I hope you believe me, because I promise when I realized this was what was actually happening, I was like, holy shit, imagine what I could have done if I wasn't doing that the whole time. And again, I'm going to reiterate this. If you are like, no, me criticizing myself and pushing myself and being hard on myself in this way is why I achieve, it motivates me. No, it fucking doesn't. No, the fuck it doesn't. It is giving you this. And if you are, here's the check. If you are pushing yourself in this kind of way, do you also feel not enough? Do you also sometimes worry if you're good enough for your goals? Do you also wonder how other people are doing it? Do you also feel like no matter what you do and have strived for, you never feel like you're complete, confident, good enough, fully, completely, unwaveringly? Yeah, it's because you do this. It's because you're doing this. I'll give another example too, which I do with my client. My client, all she wants is to be successful. That's all she wants. And she has a very set point version of success. And we talk about this all of the time in Unlimited. If you have a set point of a success, so let's say let's say your set point of success is $20,000 a month. I don't know. I'm just making things up. And you keep trying and trying and trying to get to 20,000, and you're pushing yourself and you're like, I don't know why this is so hard for me, which is, again, that's a self-shaming version of pushing yourself, that even that sentence. And you keep putting this milestone on a pedestal, or the relationship status on a pedestal, or the body type on a pedestal, whatever it is. The more you're pushing yourself, the harder it is for you to get there, because you're shaming yourself. And what you're actually doing is it's almost like you're spinning your wheels in the mud or something. I don't know the analogy for that. But you're digging this like deeper and deeper trench that's harder to get out of. And you're creating more and more proof for yourself while you're shaming yourself, or even more months, let's say, away that you haven't hit this milestone. And you're pushing yourself harder and harder and harder while gathering more and more proof that I haven't done it yet. And it's because you're telling yourself all this time that there's this one set point of success. And if I don't hit that, I'm not yet successful. So what you're really doing this entire time while you're trying to hit it is telling yourself, I'm not successful, I'm not successful, I'm not successful. When you're telling yourself this 20K month or whatever it is success. So you're building this narrative and all this proof that I am not a successful person. What you're telling your unconscious is, I'm not a successful person. And so it makes it that much harder to create something that is your definition of success. It's just a total disconnect, a total mismatch. And when you have that kind of mismatch, because you're being hard on yourself in a shameful way, it is making it so much harder and slower for you to achieve success. You are not being quote unquote hard on yourself like you've told yourself you have for probably all of these years. You're not doing it through pushing yourself. You're actually being hard on yourself through shaming yourself. I hope I'm blowing minds. I think I am. Actually, this shit is really good. I'm sharing really great things right now. Here's what I want you to do. And this is what I had to do. I am hard on myself in a different way. I am hard on myself in the way that I keep my word to myself. And that can be really hard to do. I keep my word to myself. I have high expectations, but I'm not shaming myself if I don't hit the high expectations. I'm actually building my belief that I can get to them. And when I keep my word to myself, building self-trust, that makes me think I can reach the high expectations. I motivate and encourage myself towards them. And again, through keeping my word to myself, I'm often doing hard shit and doing shit I don't want to do, and pushing myself by saying, you know what, you said this to yourself, you can do it. You made that commitment, you're going to do it. And it's motivating rather than shaming. And so here's a really good differential to show you. The old way that I used to shame myself and be hard on myself, let's take the example of something being easy. So I would used to tell myself, what the fuck is wrong with you? This should be easier. And that's the way I would push myself. But now if I think about trying something being easy, I'll be like, come on, this is easy. This is no big deal. I've got this. Like, this is easy. So instead of telling myself something is going to be a lot of work or anything, I'll be like, this is easy. I got this. I got this. And just the difference in tone in how I'm treating myself and how I'm seeing myself in the implied comparison I have in the first version of like, what the fuck is wrong with you? This should be easy, as if it's really great for other people, versus this is easy. It's not a big deal. I got this. It's so different, but I'm still being hard on myself. Let's take an example at the gym. This is actually a good example. When I used to be hard on myself in the shaming way, I would be like, oh, you can do so much better than this. Like, come on. Like, you're never going to get to your goals like this, which is so mean. It's so mean. Imagine telling that little version of you that. Imagine telling the little version of you who's 5 to 10 years old. That's how you're treating her. Think about it that way. And that gets real sad really quick. Versus if I have a set at the gym that I really don't want to do and it's hard, I'll be like, this is easy. I can do this. This is not a problem. This weight is not a problem. This feels like nothing. It's light. It is light. And that's the way I'll motivate myself. And that's still being hard on yourself. Like, I'm still making myself do that last set that I genuinely don't want to do. I'd rather just sit on the gym floor on the turf and just like scroll away on my phone. That's what I would rather do. But I'm pushing myself. I'm still being hard on myself, but it's not through a self-critical and self-judging or shaming lens. And so now in the version that I'm hard on myself, I don't take excuses. I don't allow excuses. Or if I have them, I own it in a more empowering truth about it. So for example, it's not that I don't have time. I have time up the ass. It's that when, for example, if I have a lot of work to do at the end of the day when I'm tired, it's that when I'm getting cognitively tired at the end of the day, I choose to stop working. I chose that. That's cool. That's my choice. I won't shame myself for it like I used to. I own my choice. I own that choice. Or at the end of the day, instead of, if I'm tired, let's say, a better example of pushing myself might be if I told myself that I was going to do more work and I was going to get it done for the day, I'm going to keep my word to myself. And again, like I said, that's really hard. I might want to be done with work, but I said I was going to do it. So I'm going to do it. And I'm going to tell myself it's easy. I'm not going to make it this dramatic thing. I'm just going to get it done because I'm going to keep my word to myself. And I have a whole other podcast coming out about this more. And I think it's just so important the way in which you push yourself. So right now, for example, I'm actively creating 2 different offers. And so let me just tell you about them real quick. So I am creating something called the Audacity Challenge. I'm selling it right now. You can get in all up until September 1st, but it is a $77 offer where I'm taking you through, it's basically a 21-day video bundle challenge. And so it's all about getting you out of your head, stop second guessing yourself, stop doubting, stop overthinking, all of that, and getting into such strong, audacious action and stepping into the identity and the life that you want. It is so fun. It is the exact sort of things that I did to start building my confidence. And it's the same things that I still do to this day to have huge boosts in my confidence. It's so fun. We're starting it. We're doing it live actually on September 1st. And so you should totally join. It's $77. It is and I'm coaching in there. Let me say this. I am literally coaching in there. And so it's the cheapest way to ever get coached by me. And it's a one-time thing that I'm coaching on this. And so you should definitely come join live. We also have 3 live bonus calls that I'm doing in there. And you'll be able to join live, ask me questions, or if you can't come live, I'm still going to answer all your questions. It's just such insane value. So anyway, so I'm making the Audacity Challenge right now. And then I'll spill the beans. What's coming after the Audacity Challenge is on September 1st. I'm releasing a course called Audacious, which is all about really becoming full-time owning that audacious, confident version of you who puts herself out there, who isn't afraid. She is fearless. She goes all in. She goes after what she wants. She trusts herself. She's just so in love with herself. And Audacious is all about becoming that version. It's me deep diving on all things that I've learned on my confidence journey that took me from someone who had crippling low self-worth, downplayed my desires, overanalyzed every sentence before it ever came out of my mouth, starved my body, really just struggled with my worth and who I was, to someone who is running what is nearly $1 million confidence business, working with women around the globe. It's all the things that I've learned on my journey to become that person. And so that course is coming out too. And so that's coming September 1st. And I'm going to get more details about it later, but I'm just want to let you know. So anyway, back to what I was saying. Right now, I'm actively creating those 2 offers, coaching 40 clients in an insanely high touch way. I know all the ins and outs of all my clients. I know them so well. I talk to them every single day, every week for sure. And I've started marketing on TikTok. Super fun. Go follow me. You can click for my TikTok in the show notes. And on top of that, moving across the country. And the old version of being hard on myself would have been like, you should be able to do this, or like, it's not that big of a deal, or just really push myself too far almost too. That's the other thing is there's no such, well, I'll be blunt. I do sometimes push myself a little too far, but I used to take myself to burnout all the time. And so if you're burning yourself out, it's also probably because you're doing the shameful way of pushing yourself. Anyway, so I would do that. Or almost on the flip side, here's the other sneaky thing that happens when you are using shame to be hard on yourself. You guys will actually let yourselves off way easier. And so, but you'll be hard about that decision. And so the thing is, and this is really funny, and again, it's coming from experience, so it's coming from my experience, don't worry. But the hilarious thing is I used to think that I was being hard on myself, but I was actually letting myself off easy, but then shaming myself for it. And I would call that being hard. I'd call that being hard on myself. You're shaming yourself so much that you won't actually go all in on your goals because you're afraid to, because again, that mismatch that I talked about. And so what will happen is you'll actually let yourself off, and it's a form of self-sabotage. And it's because you're shaming yourself so much. And so if you are like, I do not go all in on my goals, which was the last podcast episode, definitely go listen if you haven't already. It's because of this too. I feel like I'm just blowing minds left and right. Is everyone okay? Is everyone still there? I want you to come talk to me about this if you struggle with this, because I was the queen of it. I really was. So anyway, you're actually letting yourself off easy, but then shaming yourself for it. Now, with the way that it's like self-belief fueled pushing myself, I tell myself things that are cold hard truths, and I motivate myself to do it. And so let me see if I can find it in my journal. Okay, never mind. I couldn't find it in my journal, but I'll actually give you a real life example. So as I said, I'm starting on TikTok, and I think it was literally like 10 days in. I was like, nah, this isn't working. Like, I wanted to go down that route of, no, this isn't working. And I caught myself, and this new kind of self-belief fueled hard on myself. And I gave myself the cold hard facts. I was like, it's not that this isn't working. It's that you're uncomfortable and you like being instantly perfect at everything and really great and perfectly skilled. And you're having to work at this, and it sucks. And you're going to keep going, because I'm keeping my word to myself that I was going to try this for at least 1 month minimum. So you're going to keep going. And you know what? I kept going. It's fine. It's literally fine. And so the past version of myself would have stopped because I had already developed too deep of a story that I wasn't good enough, because I was shaming myself and being quote unquote hard on myself through shaming. So I would have quit, and then I would have shamed myself for that decision and continued the idea of not good enough. So that's another example of how it's different now. And now, again, I'm just hard on myself now through self-motivating, through keeping my word to myself, not letting myself play small. And there's a difference. There's a huge difference between shaming, criticizing, pushing yourself, but actually just making yourself feel like you're not enough, and actually furthering a disconnect between you and what you want and your goals, versus what I am now doing through much, much trial and error at that, which is self-motivating, keeping my word, not letting myself play small. It's a different kind of hard. So the first version that I talked about, the old version of me, would not hit her goals. I would not hit my goals, because my process to hit my goals felt like ass. Like, it felt like ass. And again, I was getting burnt out, and I was shaming myself the whole way, so that even no matter how hard I worked, there was always some level of disconnect between me and what I wanted. Because if I wanted success, I was telling myself I wasn't successful yet. If I wanted all these great things, I was telling myself I wasn't good enough. So there was just too much disconnect. Whereas the way I motivate myself now through building my self-belief, I hit my goals. I grow my belief through the process of pushing myself. I grow my self-trust because I'm keeping my word to myself. I work really hard, and I know how to speak to myself in a way that pushes myself, but is also building that self-trust and self-belief. It's really the difference of the language of there's no way you're going to get there versus, all right, time to figure out how to get there. That's how differently I speak to myself. And I tried to give a lot of examples in this episode so you can see it. Because yes, you are being hard on yourself. You're right. You're not wrong about that. But you're actually just shaming yourself so much that your brain is probably physically blocking you from getting there. Whereas mine's going to start figuring out how to get there and believing that I can get there and motivating myself and trusting myself to get there. That's the difference. And so these kinds of conversations are already being had inside of the Audacity Challenge, because again, the minute you join the Audacity Challenge, my 21-day video bundle that you can use over and over and over, that we're doing live on September 1st, the minute you join, you and I are going to start coaching in there on anything blocking you and on all sorts of prompts that I'm posting pretty much every day to get you out of your own head and into the identity that you want. And so you can join today and start coaching with me already. And then on September 1st, a video is going to drop every single day that gets you out of your head and into the most audacious action. My clients, and let me say this, everyone has this idea, confidence takes forever to build and blah. No, it doesn't. No, it motherfucking doesn't. my clients have taken this 21 days and used these little videos. They're 1 to 8 minutes long. They're so quick, snappy, short, beautiful, amazing, motivating, and inspiring. And these 1 to 8 minute videos for 21 days only have had them having their highest launches. Someone had, I think it was a 25-person launch from these 21 days. Another landed their highest paying job. One finally started saving up for her trip to Australia. Another one pitched herself to an opportunity she's been sitting on and dreaming about and thinking about every single day for months. Another one has finally let herself go get Botox, go start getting massages, and really just stepping into their most audacious identity. It is so fun. It is 21 days. It's a bundle that you can keep using over and over and over whenever you want. It's only $77. So get on in there. It's in the show notes. Do that. And I'm just going to say it now. If you know you are so done with playing small, you are so done with sleeping on yourself, you're just sick of your shit on that, and you want to full-time, absolutely, irrevocably become the confident version of yourself who turns heads, who their confidence opens up opportunities, you put yourself out there boldly, and you just really own who the fuck you are, then get ready for my course that's dropping on September 1st called Audacious. We are going to have a very limited time pricing for the people who first get in. And then from there, it's going to be $1,111, a cute little angel number. And this $1,000 is going to change your life. It is going to help you become unrecognizably confident to who you are today and help you get everything you want, because confidence works. Nothing sells like confidence. Nothing works like confidence. Nothing attracts like confidence. And so that course is also coming after the Audacity Challenge. So definitely get in the Audacity Challenge so you can get a taste. You can start getting coached by me every single day. Then you have this video bundle, and then get your ass in Audacious. And I'm not dropping all the details yet, but just know it's coming. Start saving for it. Start getting ready for it. And again, if you're one of the early joiners, you get it for less money than that too. So it's going to be, for those who join early, it's going to be $888. So fun. And oh my God, I didn't even tell you. When you join, I need to go and market about this actually. When you join the Audacity Challenge, there are 2 ways to win points. You can win points through doing the challenge that happens every day and talking about it in the community. And you can win points by sharing on your social media. And depending on how many points you get by the end of the 21 days, if you only if you do this live starting September 1st with me, then depending on what bracket you end up in, you can win a one-to-one call with me and 50% off the course. So there's tons of ways to win and have fun and all of the things. And all you have to do is get in for $77 and you get coached. Amazing, incredible, all the things. Okay, so I'm really excited. Hopefully you liked this episode. I really want you to switch from someone who is shaming themselves and self-criticizing and self-judging and putting yourself down and calling it quote unquote hard on yourself to someone who is being hard on themselves through a place of self-belief and self-trust, because I swear to you, you will get so much further. Okay, thank you for listening. I so appreciate it. I hope you like this. Here's what I would love for you to do. I'd love for you to take a screenshot and post it on your Instagram stories and tag me and tell the world that you love this podcast. Tell the world how helpful it was. It means the world. I go so far. And you can also go and give it 5 stars, no less, just 5 stars on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen. That also does amazing. And you can go to the show notes to find me on Instagram, find me on TikTok. Go follow me there. I'm trying to gain followers over there, okay? And you can buy the Audacity Challenge in the link below. So thanks for listening, and I'll catch you next episode.